Hello everyone and welcome to Womansplaining. My name is Fatima and today we're going to be talking about working moms. I mean, being a mom is tough. Being a working mom, now that's something that champions are made of. Today I have a real darling in the studio with me. She's my friend, she's my sister, and she's an all-around troublemaker. I love her to death. Annette, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're talking about being a working mom today. What has been your experience?
Being a working mom is very, I would use the word interesting.
Okay.
And it could be a bit of a challenge. The most important thing is...
It's just a little bit?
Of course not. The most important thing really, especially what I tell a lot of people, is just finding a way to balance it out. That's kind of where you have to get to at a particular point.
Yeah.
So...
and how do you balance it out? What has worked for you?
Okay, I find that in terms of spending time with my kids, I always like to make sure that no matter how little that time is, I try to maximize that time with my kids. For example, something as simple as I pick them up from school and we're on our way home and stuck in traffic. I ensure that period in traffic, we have conversations, and I'm asking, how was your day? What did you do? So I don't feel like I'm missing out a lot, because I try to find a way to get my kids to always tell me everything, even when I'm not there. I always find ways to get them to tell me what's going on during the course of their day. And also, there's really no one size fits all. That's the truth, because you just have to find what works for you. You have to find what works for you.
Yeah, because apart from the fact that everybody is different, children are also different.
Exactly. Even I have two kids. They're from the same mother, but they're also very different with two different personalities. So even what worked for my first when he was a baby, most of those things are not working for the second. I have to find other things to keep him engaged. Some things that his older brother likes to eat, he doesn't like to eat them, little things like that. So it's something where it's a continuous learning journey where as you go along, you just try and find ways to make things work. There's no hard and fast rule. It's just what makes you and your kids and your husband happy, and
what works for your own system.
My system is planning. I would say planning. Something as simple as their lunches for the course of the week. I ensure that I get them done over the weekend. So I have most of the time in the weekend. So I tend to do the meal preps, and then I just wake up in the morning of Monday, Tuesday, or whatever, and I just pack up everybody's lunches, and it makes my life easier because I'm not thinking, oh, what am I going to make tomorrow, Tuesday morning, because initially when I had my first, I was cooking almost every day. That was tedious. So I just kind of had to find a way to make sure that I was still putting in my 100%, but it wasn't killing me, because sometimes it can almost kill you.
Yeah, so because it's motherhood is overwhelming. Like being a mom, having kids, and then having one kid is like having two, and having two kids is like having 10.
4.
That's what people with two kids. I have one kid, and I know how hectic it is. So having two kids and then having a 9 to 5, that just takes a woman with balls.
I have a personal business as well.
She has a personal business on the side, so it's like
kids, 9 to 5, entrepeurism.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. You're feeling like Superwoman, and I have a business.
What can
Were you working before kids?
So my journey in my career has been pretty much very interesting, because what happened was just before I got married, I quit my 9 to 5 and I started my business. It was very demanding, and there were a few little things going on in my relationship. It was actually affecting my relationship because it was taking up all my time. I had no time. I probably would have been single by now if I didn't quit that job at that point in time, yes. So
what did you do?
Software consultant. I still do that anyway. That's like I said, it's been a very interesting journey for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to quit it, and then I started my business, and I did that for a while, and got married, started having kids. The business was running itself, and then I got a call back from my old job and got an offer, and okay, this might work. And then somehow I just found a way to balance it with my husband.
So it's the
and my
same
kids.
place you were working before you got married.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was
didn't
lucky.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I was lucky.
Oh, you were that good, and they were like, you know what? Let's call this.
Again, what can I say?
Did you have you ever experienced mom guilt? The phenomenon of mom guilt.
I don't think there's any mom that hasn't experienced mom
But
guilt.
now, mom guilt is usually self-imposed.
Yes.
How about mom guilt that comes from other people when they try to, it's not like they're trying to, some people are trying to, but they're trying to just bring it out of you like, okay, so now you have your 9 to 5 and you have 2 children. I'm sure you're not making enough time for them. Like, have you ever experienced it with other people that, wasn't from you?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I think the only people or person I've experienced mom guilt from is my mom.
What an irony.
And it's the funny thing is not, mothers can be mothers.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really in a critical bad way. It was more like you're doing too much, and at the end of the day you might end up hurting the child more than you're trying to help the child, kind of thing. So it also made me step back a little bit. So it made me step back a little bit and reassess some things, and just it still goes down to balancing. And the thing I would say to people that are experiencing mom guilt is just as long as you know what you're doing is right for your kid.
And as long as you're doing your best.
As long as you're doing your best, just put your foot down. And the thing is, I don't think there's any perfect parent.
There is no perfect parent.
There isn't a perfect parent, because at every point in time you will make mistakes, and you're learning from those mistakes.
Yep. And you're becoming better.
And you're becoming a better parent,
Yes.
as long as you know that you're involved in your child's life. Because the thing is, the most important thing, just be involved in your child's life.
I hear that.
That's it. Because children need attention. And the children that you find out act out, even like in my son's school, or there are kids that their parents are really probably not giving them, or they feel they're not giving enough attention. So make the mistakes, but just make sure you're giving that child attention. That's what I would say to most parents.
Okay. So how do you, apart from when you are coming back from work and you trying to make time with your kids, how else do you make time or spend time?
Obviously the weekends, or even when we get home after work, just engage in stuff with the kids. It could be reading them, like my 4-year-old, I ensure like every day before he sleeps, because he's reading now, so I always try to make sure he reads at least a book before he sleeps. And then weekends he has soccer practice. Some parents drop off their kids, but I'm like, I'm not with this boy like every day, Monday to Friday. I might as well sit down here and watch his soccer practice and all that. So things like, I always try to make sure that, the thing is, I think I even miss them more than they miss me when I'm not with them. So
because children adapt, they adapt pretty quickly. They do.
So I just always want to soak up any time I have with them.
And I think that's where the mom guilt comes from.
Yes.
The fact that they're adapting so well and they're doing so great without you, and you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Why don't they miss me?
Yes. Why don't they miss me?
Yeah. So, and I was also very lucky. I think I've been very lucky in this journey, because even where I work, like my second, he was with me at my office till he was 1. Like
your second
they gave
child.
me, my second child. They gave me that opportunity to have him with me. Obviously, I had somebody looking at boy. He was just this far away from me
every
day, Monday to Friday, till he was
I mean,
1.
that is a blessing.
Exactly. So I know a lot of people don't get that opportunity in Nigeria, but there are a lot of workplaces now that are coming up with creches and all. And I think
it's a
that's
really important adaptation, because moms, we struggle, and because of the Nigerian climate in terms of traffic and it just makes life easier for your staff. You don't want to have your staff stressed out at work and then thinking about. So that's something
not focusing.
Yes, not focusing because they're thinking about their kids. So that's something that entrepreneurs or employers should think about. So how do you make time for your own self? I remember a day, you guys. I saw my friends because our kids happen to go to the same school, and I saw her. And listen, I was concerned. This girl looked haggard, like tired. She had eye bags, and she was just all around. She was like, "Oh, I'm just getting better. I had an infection, and I'm like, you look busted, man. What's going on?" So how do you make time for your own self?
Honestly, I love when I have to travel for work. That's my me time.
Away.
Exactly. When people say, "Oh, we're going on vacation with the kids," I'm like, "That is not a vacation. That's just another working holiday." So the honest truth is, my me time is when I travel for work. That's the truth. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it or anything. That's my me time. And then so if I'm not traveling, if I'm around, my me time is the kids are in bed, my husband is in bed. Sometimes I just say, you know what, let me just have 2 hours to myself.
No matter how late it is,
exactly.
I do that as well.
And I just, I'm
even
in
though
my
you might end up nodding off before
but
the
you're
2 hours
still that peace,
in your zone.
That inner peace,
that
zen. Quietness. Yes, so those are my me times. It's just something that you have to make it work once in a while. And yes, every now and then maybe the girls trip out, the other day we had one, right? Tequila night. We just, again, everything is about balance.
We're all winging it. I mean, if we're honest, we're all winging it. Like, there's no hard and fast rule. Like she said, we're all winging it. You have your plans. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And when they don't, you just pick it right up, because everybody still needs you to function, but that time for yourself is absolutely important, to do things, with your girls, to do things with your man, just to remind him that I'm still there, I'm still a woman, I'm not just this always not moving,
person that takes care of you guys in the house.
Yes. So that's all the time that we have right now for our chat. However, we'll be right back after the break with more of Womansplaining. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Womansplaining. I'm still in the studio with Annette, and we were discussing working moms before we went on the break. However, we're back and we want to get to know her just a little more. We'll ask you some questions, and we'll hope that you can answer as many as possible in 60 seconds. So please put 60 seconds on the clock. What's your favorite drink?
I guess right now, water.
Is there a fictional place that you would like to visit?
Fictional, I would say, gosh, that's
okay.
Really
that will
hard.
pass. What job would you be terrible at?
Acting.
And it's always you guys that want to be on TV. Is there any song that you have completely memorized?
I think back in secondary school days, but I can't think of one off the top of my head now. Okay. Yeah.
What's your favorite item of clothing?
My tights, leggings. Once you're a mom,
leggings they help you. They're
handy.
So they perfect you. Do you have a favorite color?
I've always thought it was blue, but I guess now as I get older, I experiment with different colors. But blue is still
one of yours.
There's a calming thing about blue that
love it. Thank you, Annette, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for the game. But is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd like to just reiterate again to moms out there that it's not a competition.
No.
There's no win, there's no fail. It's just enjoy your kids.
I hear
That's what I would tell a lot of moms. Enjoy your kids, especially when they're young, because they'll get to a certain age where they don't even want, most of them, they don't want to see you. So now that you have them, just enjoy them and do what you can, but don't kill yourself.
I hear
because, you can only do your best. That's really what you can do.
Thank you so much, Annette, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We'd love to have you again. I'm sure that we will.
I hope you will.
Well, that's all the time that we have today on Womansplaining. See you again next time. Bye-bye.